All right, guys, welcome back to Dads Against the Narrative, the show where we cut through all the noise, challenge the status quo, and talk real talk about life, family, and the world all around us. Today, we're going to have a little throwback topic with two of my buddies, Kyle Newell, Panaman Official, and Brandon Kelly, BK Undisputed, all about fasting. So, buckle up. This is going to be a good one, and you're going to learn a ton about fasting, how you should be able to lift weights while fasting, working out while fasting, what foods to eat, and what kind of nutrients, vitamins, and minerals we should be putting in to our intake while we are fasting. So that way we can succeed all the way. Stick with me. It's gonna be a good ride. Let's go. My brother, what's
What's
up?
going on? What's going on? Can you see me?
I can see you nice and clear.
Yeah. Good, man.
You need to be worried about me. You know that, Kyle. I always have the worst internet. No.
Oh, yeah. We'll be down in Mexico, man.
Hey, gotta live that good life.
Oh, no, man. I think it's great what you guys are doing.
And we got Brandon. Perfect. It worked out perfectly.
Yo, got the man, the myth, the legend on there. He's got the panda hat on, too.
Oh, we got the
Oh,
representing
You
you guys
panda
see me?
everywhere.
Que paso,
got,
güey?
Bien, bien. Me too.
Todo tranquilo.
Let's go. Vamos.
Kyle, what's up, man?
what's up, BK? How you doing, man?
Man, LIVIN.
I'm flying out to Michigan today for the CEO Mastermind.
Nice.
I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be cool. I'm going to get my panda hat, too, man. Might as well get a different color on.
Hell yeah, man.
I need to get like you. I need more brands. I only have one crappy hat that I made before I left the States.
Oh,
And in
man.
Mexico, I can't find a place to get my hats created. So
No,
I'm starting over
yeah,
here with.
start over, man. You know what I'll do? I'll
We'll
put
have
Yeah.
to send
this
you
one on. You
out
know what this one
one
is?
of each. Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
Undisputed. Oh, love
Hey,
it.
that's how we roll, man. That's how we roll over here. That's a tag team right there.
Yeah.
I think people
Boy,
don't know. We're all about collaboration. We're not about competition all the time against each other.
yeah.
You
Plenty of
know.
pieces, man. There's, we got to
So,
carry out the mission.
Brandon, where are you coming from? I know you're Central Time
Yeah,
like me.
yeah, I'm in Joliet, south of Chicago.
Oh, okay. My wife's from Chicago. She's from Schaumburg.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been up there a few times. Not bad, but I'm from Cleveland, so I like it nice and gritty, kind of like Mexico.
There you
We
go.
talk, did we talk about Cedar Point last time?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I used to love
Cedar,
Cedar Point.
Cedar Point's awesome. You ever been there, BK?
No, I've heard about it though.
Worth the trip,
It's
man.
definitely worth the trip. Definitely
Yeah.
worth it. All right, guys. So I've been asking my community. I have them all on different fasts and different diets right now. We started this whole fitness level to the frequency of fatherhood. Before, Brandon, we were really focused on fathering and really fathering skills and parenting and really focusing on changing the narrative of what fathers are. But now I've added an entire new level to the frequency of fatherhood that's all nutrition and diet and working out, body weights and weights. So a lot of the guys are doing a 72-hour fast. Kyle knows most of this information because we've talked a few times.
Mhm.
But so we do a 72-hour fast once a month, and then a lot of the guys are right now are on a 20-hour fast with a 4-hour window to eat. That's part of their diet right now. I just came off of doing for 2 months a 1-hour window of eating and fasting 23 hours, which I absolutely loved. I hit up Kyle a bunch of times. I'm like, dude, I'm feeling amazing eating once a day. And I think that's what you do, right, Brandon?
Yeah, pretty much.
And how's your energy level on just that? Because a lot of my guys are asking energy levels on the different types of fasting workouts.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, dude. I mean, if you want to experience the true mecca of life, energy, like the true energy, it's all going to start in the gut. So if you start to understand that and you have an open mind and not try to fight it so much and just let your body do what it's supposed to do, absolutely, man. I mean, that's what I do, and my the weight room is my safe haven. It's my sanctuary. It's my church, all in one. And I wasn't always like this. I used to eat a ton being an athlete, and just always want to fill out my shirts and get strong and shit. So I know what your clients are feeling or want, they're scared of losing size and depth and things like that. But
Yeah.
I was turned on to this a long time ago with Kyle, and it was I never really looked back.
Yeah. And Kyle, you do 48 on and then a feast. Is that correct?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, my typical protocol is a 48 to start the week, Sunday to Tuesday night, and then one meal a day. So if I look at the past 5 years, it's probably actually slightly less because I've done longer fasts periodically, but it's 6 meals a week. So I've been doing consistently now for 5 years.
And how's your energy level doing that?
Oh, fantastic, man.
That's what I
It's
think.
yeah. There's never any lulls, man. Besides, like when I eat, then I'll get sleepy, but I put it right before bed, man. It's intentional.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real.
Same. I eat and I'm like, oh, I wish I didn't eat.
Yeah, it's a funny
Even though like
thing,
I was
man.
hungry, but I'm like, dude, why'd I fucking eat? I'm drained now.
Yeah, it's funny, man. Yeah, I see one of the guys there, Joe's been killing it. He's been fasting now, but people just crush it, dude. And the energies that me and Brandon always talk about. What do you always say about energy, BK?
I mean, one of the things is the Mecca of Life. That's going to be on your label. The new Panda Man official pre-workout.
Nice.
Won't break your fast. Doubled up on the sodium, magnesium, potassium. That's what it says right on the front label, man.
Like
Energy,
energy,
Mecca of Life.
back of life. It's
Hell
so
yeah.
key, man. It's
I,
one of the
I
biggest
didn't never
benefits.
know that. I always thought that you had to have, like, especially going into the weight room or something. There, you're motivated to go, but there's other things, other stimulants out there to get you there. And a lot of times, man, it's just coming from within. I remember, I don't know how much time we got, but I got a story about Kyle. He was starting this off, and I was like, I always thought it was so complex because he would talk about intermittent fasting and these windows and shit like that. And I never really dove into that. I was more into how he was talking about mindset. He helped me out through a lot of different situations. One was my daughter's final surgery. We actually scoped out New York City, where she was going to be there for almost a month straight for recovery. We stopped by his house, and just a whirlwind of emotions. And I would call him like, hey, man, like, I'm on one, man. Like, give me something. He'd give me like little drills to do, like, okay, BK, as fast as you can, name all the states that start with A. Just different little mind drills to get me refocused
Mm,
away from what I used to not dwell on, but I would almost like make it a lot bigger than it was, right?
yeah.
And bro, I got sick after that trip, all the stress, whatever happened, man, I ended up in the hospital, and I was like, man, I got to get my funk back. Phone Kyle, and he was like, and I thought he was going to give me just like another brain trick and shit. He's like, dude, don't eat for 48 hours. I was like, wait, what? Like, what the fuck are you talking about, man? He's like, don't consume nothing but water. Make yourself this little juice formula. You'll be all right. And from that point forward, it was like, just all downhill, my energy. And I never wanted to look back because once you experience that shit, it's like, well, why would you not want to?
Yeah,
And that's kind of how I got into the game. And that's how we started really recognizing energy being like, oh, no shit, man. It's got to come from the stomach, man. That's where all they pulls the inflammation out. Your neuron transmitters start firing. There's science behind it. Even if all these so-called gurus out there is like, well, prove the science. It's like, well, there is science. About there's a lot of things out there that prove the fact of what happens when you give your stomach a fucking break. When you give your stomach a break.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right on, dude. Right on.
Yeah. You know what? BK is it's my wife when she met me we were living in Hawaii and she said, why are you not eating dinner? And for years I was already intermittent fasting, right? I was kind of doing like an 18-6. And I said, I just don't eat. I don't eat twice a day. I eat breakfast and I eat lunch, and that's it. And then she went and got a degree in epigenetics. And in the epigenetics had a whole fucking course on fasting
For
and
real.
why it's so important,
For
why
real.
it's so important to implement that into your life. And from that point on, she was just like, I love what you're doing.
I mean, it's biblical. It's
Oh yeah.
biblical. It's no coincidence. It's not just mentioned once. I mean, there's probably 30 instances of fasting in the Bible, and it's not just all about, your gut health. It's about health, but right here too, your psych health.
Yeah.
Right? You draw a lot of conclusions when you're just in the world, how fast it goes, right? And if you pull everything back, all of a sudden you can start like being more aware, and awareness is what usually heightens. And now you can become more focused on solutions rather than making the problem so big. And if you get more results by the solutions, when you go in the weight room, you get more results faster. For me, it just makes so much sense. It's hard almost to explain it. It's so easy and simple,
It is.
Yeah.
It really is.
And I have a question here. Someone wrote in here. How about not losing muscle?
Yeah, I saw
Extra
that.
attention to protein. Yeah. What about that? Do you lose muscle? Are you able to
No,
gain muscle?
you can
Guys
gain
are worried about that.
muscle. Yeah, that's a big thing that people get concerned about. So I did an interview with a doctor yesterday, big into fasting. He had me on his podcast, and that was one of his things. I said, look, I can tell you what happened to me. BK is a living testament to it as well. I've actually gotten more muscular. My body fat's gotten lower. And so you have insulin, right? I call it the slingshot effect, right? So you use it, okay, pull it over here, limit it, right? So we keep fat loss going, right? And all the other health benefits and brain benefits and the spiritual. But now when we train consistently and we eat, use the anabolic effect of insulin to put on muscle and shuttle the nutrients to the muscle cell, right? It's called calorie partitioning. Let's direct where those nutrients are going. The average person, if they're just eating throughout the day, constantly, most of it's going to the fat cell, right? So you can totally put on muscle. You got growth hormone. One of my clients I just had a call before with, he's a big dude. I mean, he was a high level athlete. He was nervous, same thing, that he was going to lose muscle. Now he's about a month in. He did all his measurements. He's up almost a half an inch on his biceps, on his chest, on his legs, and his waist is down like 4 inches already.
So he looks bigger.
Looks bigger.
Automatically
Yeah.
you look bigger, right?
Yeah.
It's definitely a misconception, It's crazy. You got to just think backwards. You have to think just outside the box. If you think about like as a cell, think about hormones. How about that? Think about like what growth hormone is and how it stimulates and preserves muscle. And it's all here. If people really dive in and find, these answers that are at their fingertips, it puts them more at ease. But if you're always like 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and you're kind of training yourself for failure as opposed to success. So you kind of have to have an open mind. I remember talking about this back in the day with my mom. And just because she's older, like, hey, I want you to have these health benefits. She's like, you got to stop telling people to fast. You're going to kill them. You're starving people. And now she's fasting and she's 74, just going to the weight room every single day. It's like part of her routine because, it gets, I don't know, you just got to trust it, I think, a little more than the average person.
Yeah, right on. Trust is the key, man. Think outside the box.
Yeah.
Keep it
I
open
think too
mind.
many people, well, you said there, because I think the most important, people are in and out. 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and they don't commit. And that's what I'm trying to tell the guys in my community right now is like, this is a commitment. Make the commitment just for a month. What's 30 days? Try it for 30 days. See how you feel. Compare it to the rest of your life, how you've been feeling. Because to me, I mean, I've been fasting for a while. Like how I hit you up all the time where I'm like, brother, you've pushed me to go even further. And our conversations have just made me even smarter in fasting. How I end fast. I mean, I've always ended fasting with fruit anyways. But I know, Kyle, you talk about that a lot too. And the guys are like, well, what the hell? How are you getting, you're 42 years old and you're looking more ripped than you did at 19. I said, guys, I'm getting bigger, faster. I'm getting ripped faster. And my energy levels, I feel like I'm 19. I feel like a 19-year-old came and fight me right now. Even though back in my days, I'd be like, if I was 19, I'll look at all three of us and be like, you old man, you ain't gonna step to me.
Yeah. No, right on, man. Great job with it. It's life changing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and outside of the physical results that you're obviously seeing, right? But now what about maybe you could talk about the mental results? I mean, do you have a little more confidence in yourself? You're obviously reaching out to somebody like Kyle and myself and you're organizing something like this and you got a platform now. I mean, how has your psych been?
Oh man, it's skyrocketed. So I've already been confident. I'm retired military. I've spoken in front of really high ranks my whole career. So that was never an issue. And I was never fat, per se. But I didn't feel like this. I feel right now that I'm speaking proper. My confidence in my brain is like clear. You know what I mean? Like I just understand it. Like when you're speaking, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense finally. I feel like the cloudiness in my brain is just dissipated, you
That's good
know?
because most people can't understand what I'm saying. So that's very good. We got them vibes going, man. Good job.
I got another question
If it's
before we just
about getting
open this up.
electrocuted, I can't talk about it. All right, I can't talk about getting
Has he
shocked.
noticed
They
that?
reopened the case. I
Oh,
can't. I thought I'd be
really?
able to talk about it, but I can't. All right.
And
Jack, did you see that?
what?
Is you know what he's referring to?
No.
All right. Well, you got to send him the video then. If you can't talk about it, you got to send him the
Yeah,
video.
send me that.
Well, let's just say there's nobody more qualified to sell electrolytes than myself right now. Kyle, I talked to Devin on the phone, and she said that she walked in on Braxton and all her nephews watching me get tased.
Dude, it was funny. We had all the cousins over last week or I guess 2 weeks ago now. And Braxton, he's our 8-year-old Jack. He says, "Hey, we were watching BK last night getting tased." I'm like, "What?" And Devin's like, "Did Daddy pull it up for you?" They're like, "No." So I don't even know like how they
I
pulled
just Googled
it
his
up.
name.
Yeah, I don't even know how they pulled it up, dude. But they pulled it up and they were fascinated.
Dude, I was cracking up, man. I mean, you got 8-year olds watching me get face planted. That's some funny shit,
It
man.
shows you, man. Yes, send Jack the video,
I
man.
will. I'll send them that.
Can't wait to see it. Well, what do your kids think of you fasting? Like my son, he knows. Like this morning, that my wife, and my son were eating breakfast. I cooked them breakfast. I wasn't eating. I sat down at the table just like a normal dinner or breakfast. And my son goes, "Dad, you fasting?" So he's 4 years old, and he already knows.
No,
He's like, it's part of my
man.
routine.
Yeah.
How about your kids?
My kids, man, like they once in a while, Braxton will ask, and I'll be like, "No, I'm fasting." It helps Daddy be the strongest version of himself. So I just plant the seed, and they
Yeah,
know, they know how much I can eat. They get a kick out of that as far as the feast. But as far as the fasting, like you said, your 4-year-old already seeing it. I think just modeling it for them, and if they want to eventually do it, they won't like for most people, right, our age, older, like BK mentioned his mom, it's so counter counterculture to what people have been taught with food. But if you see this at a young age and that seed is planted that, oh, my dad used to do this all the time. This is how it's supposed to be. I think it's a great thing.
Yeah, and mine's almost 18 now, so she's been seeing this for a while. And when she's not hungry, she doesn't eat. Like she doesn't like you say, "What'd you eat for breakfast?" I didn't eat breakfast. What'd you eat for dinner? I didn't eat. I wasn't hungry. So, and she's an athlete. She rides horses and stuff. So she starts. She knows. At first, it was really she would always say, you gotta eat, and then I would tell her to fast, every so often, no way. But now, just like when they want to, when they start to learn, anybody from your clients on all the way down the road, they'll start to dabble in it on their own. We can't sell them on it. We can't convince them you gotta fast, they gotta want to do something.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's funny because most humans, when we get sick, our body naturally goes into this fasting. It's saying, hey, I need all the fucking energy to kill this virus, disease, whatever the hell's going on in my body. And my son knows that. He just had the flu about 3 weeks ago. Horrible. Worst he's had since his life, right? And
Wow.
he was out. But for 2 days, he did not eat. And I said, are you hungry? He said, Dad, my body's fighting right now. It's fighting the virus that's in me. Because I've been teaching him, right? I'm
Mm.
telling him he's been learning from my wife, who's an epigeneticist, and then seeing dad do the fasting. So for him, he's just like, no, I think I'm good. My body's needing this fight right now. And then we introduced fruit slowly back in, getting that water, juices up, right? Because he was drinking tons of water. That's all I told him. I'm like, you need water, man, and salt. Lots of salt. So I was putting salt in his water, and he fought it like a champ. He had 104 degrees fever. We don't go to a doctor. He's never been to a doctor. We don't do that shit.
Yeah.
We're not part of the system at
Right.
all. So we take care of everything at home. But fasting is often the way we heal everything for my son. So it's like that's part of his life, like you were saying. And
Awesome.
yeah, my wife right away, even she's pregnant, she had the flu first. She gave it to everybody, not me, because I was fasting. And
Seriously though, dude.
she even fasted for a day. She fasted like 22 hours in her third trimester, and everyone's like, "You can't do that." I'm like, if her body's telling her to do it, she can do it. Believe me.
Dude,
So
that brings up
there's
another.
yeah,
Yeah,
go on.
dude. There's so many aspects. So that the one client I was just telling you about, his wife now is fasting, right? And she's their baby is like 3 or 4 months old. See, a lot of women will say, "Well, can't do this," and then breastfeed. And she's doing 3, 4 day fast. She's producing plenty of milk. She feels fantastic, right? So it's like all these myths and these things that they tell you you can't do. Your wife's pregnant. She couldn't fast. What did people used to do, like 10,000 years ago, right?
I feel the same way now with a lot, people always go back. There's so much research, or I'd say so many different opinions about it, especially from females now and their hormones and, what to do. They got to do it at a specific time as opposed to this time. And it's like, well, maybe you can fix a lot of those hormone issues by just pulling up the inflammation out. Why don't we just start there while you're trying to figure out all your other hormone issues, right? Because they've been to multiple doctors, they're on multiple different medicines, seeing what works and what doesn't work. Why don't we just try you on this while you're doing that, right? Take all there's a lot of things going on, but there's a lot of myths as well out there. I think the female base is like swaying one way or the other right now with the fasting, and
Yeah.
it's tough because ultimately it's all here. I
Mm.
mean, ultimately it's are you going to pull yourself away from nutrients right now and just wait so those same nutrients can be absorbed faster, right? Maybe, or at least less wasteful. So there's just a lot of different opinions out there. I think Kyle, you handle a lot of women right now. What results have you been seeing? I know you've been bragging to me about some really good results lately. You want to share with them
Yeah,
some of the women that were somewhat scared about their hormones and
yeah,
fast like a girl and
yeah,
everything.
yeah. It's a lot of women, right? Again, like we just alluded to, have this fear with the hormones, but insulin is with both men and women, and it's the only hormone we can control. So a lot of women get they have more stubborn fat. Typically their stubborn fat is harder than our stubborn fat to lose, right? And stubborn fat by its
Absolutely.
nature is stubborn because it has a very poor blood supply. So one lady that stands out, she came to me for the very first Panda I ran. So this is 4 years ago. She was like 62 years old. She had done dieting her whole life. She called me and said, "Look, I want to see if this is a good fit. I just came off a 40-day program where I was doing 1,100 calories a day and I lost 1 pound." And she went through menopause twice because she had a hysterectomy. And she dropped like 18 pounds within 6 weeks, crushing it, has a new life now. And a lot of the women that I have are in that age range, perimenopausal, and the symptoms almost across the board always improve for them. Hot flashes, breast tenderness, all this stuff improves. So I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe there's not these double-blind studies to shut up, but throw those out the window, man. To me, it means nothing. I just go by the feedback of the client. So that's what I've seen, man, with women.
I think it's funny, Kyle, that you mentioned that there's not a lot of research, right? All the holistic routes, there's no fucking
None.
research. There's a reason for that. There is research, but you have to dig hard to find it because the big
Uh,
government doesn't want us to
It's
see it, right?
yeah, they don't want us to be healthy, man. That goes against the whole system.
And I think that's the thing. A big thing about fasting is that people don't realize thousands of years, as you're saying, all the way up into the Industrial Revolution, even after, pretty much until the Rockefellers came in,
Yeah.
really, this was the way of life. We're
Yeah,
so detached from our food now. It's ridiculous.
it is crazy.
So
It's mindless.
yeah, absolutely. And I want to ask, why is it important? And I know the answer to this, but I'm going to put it out there. Why is it important for us to worry about the inflammation of our gut health?
Want to answer a BK?
I mean, there's a lot of things going on with the gut. I mean, that's where everything starts, right? So I always just say that the first things first is we got to clear the gut from digesting all the time. That's the first thing we have to do. Why? Because there's some things called digestive enzymes. And if those digestive enzymes are just aiding with digestion, they're not going to be able to spark certain things, such as like autophagy, cellular rejuvenation, building the immune system back up, right? I think a lot of it has to do with the amount of food that's always being digested in our system nonstop. And evolution will prove that the stomach never changed. And that'll tell you like the size, the shape, all that stuff, that it wasn't meant to be grazed upon all day long, all night long. I mean, you're talking about weeks on ends, months on ends, year on ends that just store not only the fat, but the glucose. And that's what they're utilizing as their energy. So when it comes to, I mean, at least how I see it, how I perceive it when it comes to gut health, let's just say, like, here's an example. I remember I was watching Kyle at one of his seminars, and he was talking about going from the sugar to then the protein, and the protein not coming from the muscle, more like the dense skin cells. And if you look into that, like dermatology, if you look into that, yes, they'll send you home with some nice wipes and stuff, but a lot of the medicine they give you is for the stomach. A lot of the medicine that they give you for acne and things like that, it's not like for healthy, it's for the gut, you know?
Yeah.
So a lot of the medicine, when you look into prescription drugs, what does it do? It's taking care of the stomach first and foremost. So we can do that. This is probably too long of an answer, but we can do that naturally by
Yeah.
just taking a step back, detaching from what we're comfortable. We're just so comfortable eating every time our emotion sways. And most people don't just have like a concrete mission. Like they want something. Like a lot of people, we'll take off our shirts, all three of us. They'll want that, but they won't want enough to sacrifice what they have right now for this.
Yeah.
Right? They'll want it, and then they'll try to do something. They'll come back because they haven't committed to it. Once you commit to it, it's super simple. If you commit to it, like you were saying, give me 30 days. I'll change your whole situation with this, but you got to do it. I'll tell you how to do it. Don't eat. Pretty simple. It's pretty simple. But then you have to, they're like, well, why are you always talking about mind mapping and the brain? Because your brain's going to sway. Every time there's a problem, the reptilian part of the brain is going to jump on you. No, go this way. And it's like, relax, take a deep breath. Why is this good for me? Prefrontal cortex, linear thinking. Okay, now this is why we have to learn the brain to be able to do this. The biggest part of what the Panda Man does is he teaches this. It's super easy to teach this. Don't eat, man. How simple is this? But it's this. It's clarifying, and then the route to clarify when things get tough. Is resistance good or bad?
That's it, man. Reframe it. It's great. That's how we
You
grow.
know, it's the biggest, baddest fucking weapon in our mental arsenal if you think that way. So, yes, I get passionate. I'm sorry. But some people just need to wake the fuck up. You know, you want it all you want, but I can't do it for you. I can't not eat for you, you know?
Yeah, that's great, man. And I'll just add in the little things with the gut health too, right? Like BK was saying, think of where the terms. This is why language. A lot of people just brush over language like they don't think about it. The gut feeling. Where does that come from? That saying. It's the gut, right? It's your second brain. It's 80% of neurotransmitters, 80% of your immune system is all in the gut. So if we're constantly eating and whatnot, it's just a mess, man. Like this is the key. And your gut is directly tied into obviously the emotional system of the body. So it's like it's so powerful.
So powerful. It's undeniable at
I
this
Yeah.
agree.
point. It's
Yeah.
undeniable at this point if you just have an open mind.
Yeah.
If you have an open mind and you actually commit, it's undeniable. I've never seen somebody not succeed and move the needle while doing this if you actually do it,
That's the
right?
key.
Yeah. And I think another big thing what you said there, our emotions when we're fasting, when we're controlling what we put in our body, what are your emotions? Like I saw one guy, he's like, I'm always angry.
Yeah,
You want to
I saw
touch
that.
on that too?
Not me.
Yeah,
I'm not good at
my
that subject.
my my opinion with that is I would ask that guy how consistent are you with this? Because food is a drug, right? We got always go back to it affects the internal biochemical hormonal environment of the body. So when you withdraw from a drug, you're going to get withdrawal symptoms. So this hangry, this shakiness, headaches, this is withdrawal from the food, the drug of food. But what I've seen when people stick with it, like BK saying, if you just do it, those things go away very quickly. Now, if you're fasting once a month, of course that's going to happen, right? You're messing with the frequency that's being put in. So that's all that is really. It's that hangry feeling. It's withdrawal symptoms, really.
It's the telltale sign. This is your resistance. That's what that is. This is your resistance. You got one of two ways. You could retreat or go this way. That's it.
Mhm. Yeah,
Black or white.
Yeah.
go into the resistance, man.
You know, it's funny. I tell the guys in our program, I'm like, you can do fasting with me, and we'll do 24. I'm going to continuously move that further and further to 1 hour because I want them to see that I just saw it finally, thanks to Kyle pushing me over and over. I'm like, if this dude's doing it at 48, we're the exact same age, I can do that. I can stick to at least 23-1. And otherwise, I tell the guys, you're going to count every single macro. And I don't like counting every macro. I think it's a waste of my time. And,
Yep.
and I know, Kyle, you can touch on this. I know you talk about this all the time. But I agree 100% when I watch your videos. I'm like, oh, dude, I don't want to count macros. And it's funny because I had Brad Dunn and Kyle Carnahan on one of
Yeah.
these where we did a three-way. And they love macros. These guys count macros for everything, and they're beasts too.
Yeah.
It just shows there's so many different ways to skin the cat, right?
Yeah.
But
What?
why don't you count macros, Kyle?
Well, so the selfishly, the reason obviously I did not create fasting, right? But when I kind of formulated the Panda diet experiment on myself 5 years ago, it was selfish reasons. It was to be liberated from just being in prison with my food, from bodybuilding, and everything had to be measured and weighed. And if I wrecked my metabolic rate so bad that if I was even eating 2,000 calories a day, I'd be fat. And it would just try to, it didn't make sense. And I could never figure it out. And Devin, my wife, would say, she wouldn't say it in a mean way, but like, all the effort you put in with your food and like, I would think you would look different. And she was right. So
Ew.
as far as it's liberating, right? Your body has an internal wisdom of what it needs to eat when you feast. And most people experience metabolic rate coming down from dieting. Metabolic rate can go up or down 40%. How do you get it to go up? It's not really through putting on muscle. That'll make you up a little bit, but it's not like people think. It's by eating more, right? So let's try to get it to go up 40% by having these feasts. And then as far as calories in, calories out, it doesn't work. And people say, oh, it works. It's got a 99.9% failure rate long term. So if that works, like that doesn't make it, what's your definition of working? Is it temporary? Yes. And it's temporary because it's not the energy, it's they're affecting insulin because they're taking in less food. Anybody that, and you get all these guys like BK had kind of alluded to earlier, these PhD types, they're the worst, man, because they're so indoctrinated what they've been told. And if something doesn't have a double blind study, man, if these guys need a double blind study to use a parachute, right? Think about it. It's like so absurd that people, it drives me nuts, man. But you get calories in, calories out. It doesn't work. That's not how it works. That's the last thing I ever adjust for somebody would be their calories because it's about insulin.
You see this question right here, Kyle? What about people with insulin resistance?
So perfect. That's how you heal it, fasting. That's how you literally, Dr. Jason Fung, his whole clinic is he takes type 2 diabetics, and you can even do this for type 1. It's a little different protocol, and he heals it. You can completely reverse insulin resistance. So what I tell people, the main thing we're trying to do with the Panda is you're trying to heal your insulin resistance and become more insulin sensitive. Completely reversible. And so if you're insulin resistant, if you look at your blood work, HbA1c, you need to be fasting. Like you have to, or you're going to get type 2 diabetes.
100%.
Yeah, you don't want to go
100%.
down that road, man. Do not go down that road.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Before we go somewhere else, I missed a question. Sorry, guys. Please put your questions back in there. I'm trying to go back and hit them all for the guys. Really quick, you talked about dermatology for a second. How often do you hear your skin looks great? You know, Kyle, you and I talk about this on a side
Yeah,
note, but we're 42 years old. I hear it all the time. They're like, there's no way you're 42. I'm like, well, do you know what fasting does? One, my skin does look clean because BK, when you're mentioning how like, you know, all the stuff for skin is actually for gut health. Everything comes from gut health. It's all right there. So do you hear that often that your skin looks all right and it's clear? And if you do get a zit, do you know where it comes from? Because I rarely would get one.
it's yeah, dude. I mean, it's funny. I've had clients go through it where they've had eczema, freaking like stuff like boils, stuff that nothing else would work. And within a couple of weeks, gone. And you can even attack that more, like cysts with dry fasting. But I
Absolutely.
had somebody at the gym last week. I didn't see her in about a year because she was, you know, she just came back, and she goes, man, she goes, you look younger. She goes, what are you doing? I said, you know what I'm doing. I said, it's just the fasting. You know, that's all it is.
Yeah. I tell them I'm in the business of reverse aging.
Yeah.
They're like, what's that? I'm like, okay, I just fast, man. That's it. It's so simple.
It's so
We had a
simple.
question here that says, how long is OMAD sustainable? I don't even know what that is, so you have to teach
OMAD
me what
is
that
one
is.
meal a day. So
Oh,
just one meal a day. It's forever.
yeah,
Like that.
yeah,
I don't see why somebody would go back to eating multiple times a day once they experience this. Like, so going back to the macro thing, there's another point with that. Let's say that was equal, right? Your 4 or 5 meals a day, whatever, counting calories, macros. Let's say these were even. Okay, and you're gonna eat the same macros and calories and everything with your feast. Why would you take the more complex approach? It doesn't make sense from a brain science point of view. You always go, is the approach I'm taking making things more simple or more complex? If it's more complex, that's probably the wrong way to go for long-term adherence.
And most of the time, if I could add on that, and Kyle, I remember when we talked about this, when you eat, when you do that, a lot of times you're eating in a hurry, right? A lot of those packaged meals or Tupperware, usually they're not sitting down thanking, the universe, God, whoever, having the utmost gratitude for their food, which ultimately allows your body to absorb those nutrients that much faster. And it's not about being fast; it's about being more efficient and effective. So remember when we were talking about this? Was this right before the pandemic? It's crazy though. Check out this shit, man. This dude, Kyle, 2020 in March, right before the pandemic, we're out in Orlando and we're talking. He's like, man, we gotta make a statement. We gotta make a statement, man. I'm gonna make a huge run at this with this fasting game, and I'm gonna go at it hard. I got all these businesses going on, but this is the one that I'm gonna help the most amount of people out. My mission is, I don't know, somewhere like 1 million people or some shit. And man, he brought it together, dude. He brought the pain from that moment on, and the pandemic helped us even further with the fasting approach, with the communication of fasting, without having to get sick. This is what you do for optimal health, all that good stuff. But we were talking that day because a lot of people in our mastermind where we were, they were eating, and some of them were like, they're not even bodybuilders, but they were eating their Tupperwares, no big deal, right? But we were talking about it like they're like walking and eating, and we're thinking, does that even that ain't even doing nothing? Like like the state of mind that you're putting the stress on your mind. What do you think happens to the body, right? The absorption rate of that food. So it's all here really because their perception's reality that they're getting their calories in, but we know like if people always say, well, what about the science? Well, we know the science about that. We know what happens when cortisol levels are high. Yeah, it's freeze mode sometimes, but sometimes it's raising that adrenaline.
Yeah.
And you're where's that going? So
Yeah,
I don't know. I just think
right
that the
on, man.
5 meals or the 4 meals, not for me. It's just not for me. There's no perfect formula out there, right? Your body kind of sways to what it needs. It'll tell you when you need fruit. It'll tell you when you need some protein. It just tells you. You go home for that OMAD, dude, it's the best thing. Like for myself, you go home after a well-deserved, well-earned meal, you turn everything off, you have the utmost gratitude, and then you just smash, and then you smash more. Like I eat till I'm full every time, and it's never failed me up to this point.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this dude is shredded, man. He's like an anatomy chart, you know,
Yeah, you're total beast,
and,
BJ.
and
Total
it's
beast.
he's not losing muscle, any of this stuff. And it's funny. I just thought of when you said the studies, right? Like maybe something I'll start using with these guys. I'll say, well, where's your stuff referenced in the Bible? Right?
Yeah.
This is biblical, like you said. Like there's a reason, man. The Bible says when you fast and when you pray, not if.
Yep.
It's a thing. There's a question there. So
Are you,
true. So Matthew, true hypoglycemia, and that's a very rare thing. And what I tell people with that, get a glucometer, take your blood sugar when you start fasting, or when you start feeling shaky. And in most cases, your blood sugar is completely normal. So bodybuilding, you got to think of where all this stuff comes from. There's lack of expertise. Bodybuilding is a little bit different of an animal, right? But a lot of these bodybuilders develop insulin resistance. So you got to think that, and they're on a lot of drugs, right? And there's nothing wrong with that, in my opinion. But it changes, and that's what we're trying to impact the fasting is the hormonal environment of the body. A lot of these bodybuilders are trying to get in massive amounts of food, more than most people might be able to get within a feast. So that's the only time, like if you had like Thor and he's got to get in 15,000 calories a day, he's not going to do that in one meal, right? So there are circumstances with that, but just like the rest of the fitness industry, bodybuilders just follow what's always been done in bodybuilding, right? If I ever compete again, I'm going to do it with this method, and it'll be a breeze. Like it won't be starving myself and all this stuff. So I think it's just a lot of it's dogma, man. People don't question. Why do people go to the gym and just do like junk cardio?
Well, Shay proved it. She did
Yeah,
her first
tell me.
show.
Yeah,
She competed at a national level and won the overall everything. She won the first place in her division, overall everything, and she utilized fasting for it. And she's, like most people, they always have tendencies to go back to the macro route because that's where the expertise say to go to, right? But it's you're building a mindset to rely on food. And ultimately, you're not being able to control the emotions that are attached. And people hate when I say that. They get all offended and up in their shit. And it's like, well, that's why, because you can't control this right here. If every time that you're hungry, I always use this example. Just check this shit out. Thanksgiving, right? Traditionally, you go to 3 to 4 different houses, you smash, right? And then you wake up, you have that feeling of hunger. Do you really think you're hungry? Do you really think your body's hungry? Let's just be honest. Let's call a spade a spade. I mean, yeah, you're hungry here, but is your body really hungry for more calories?
yeah.
It's like, come on, man, we gotta just start thinking about it that way. And that's more logical. That's a logical way of thinking, am I right?
1,000% right. And that's where, like, right with the mind map, we know logic and emotion don't mix. What uh, when I listen to Emma, Emma's 4, she'll how will she say it? She'll say, I feel hungry. So once you start viewing hunger as an emotion, and people get all twisted up by that, but view it as an emotion. And then it's much easier to deal with it mentally, right? Instead of using it as a cue, I'm hungry, I got to eat. And hunger and appetite are two different things. People think they're the same thing. It's not the same thing, right? You could be hungry all the time, but you might not be able to eat that much. That's your
But you're
appetite.
starving yourself, dude.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, that's what they say. Yeah. That's what they say, man. You're starving yourself. And at this point, it's like, okay,
so,
Well, what's
so,
the
so,
feed
what's
it.
the best way to get these guys going on
yeah.
the people that are listening right now? If I was Kyle, if I was somebody and I'm asking Kyle, like, because you got a lot of success, right, on this. This is your platform, man. What's the fastest, how about the easiest way to get them started? The simplest way, which is not always the easiest, I guess.
Yeah. So when I start people on my challenges, the 5 week program is we jump right into a 48. Like, and a lot of people say, well, can I start at 16? I mean, look, I did that for 5 years. It doesn't work. Like, and you're typically not gonna. Most people aren't gonna progress from that. So, what holds most people up with this is they have fear of the unknown, right? So, put them right into that fear and let them see, build their confidence right out the gate. Oh man, it wasn't that hard. And now all of a sudden, the 24 is 1 meal a day is completely reframed in their brain. Oh man, that's going to be a breeze. So um, that's what I like to do, man. 48, then 1 meal a day, and then I like when I take people through a 5 week, it's let's experiment with like 2 48s, rolling 48s, multiple 48s each week, a 72, 96, just so they know at the end of our time together, all right, this is how I feel, this is what I can do, this is when so that you just give them all these tools. But I like to start them on the black version, 48, 1 meal a day.
Absolutely, 100%. And what about the juice your version and then our version if they don't like that
Yeah,
one? And I'll have somebody on the comments post a link for the other one.
yeah, for sure, man. So the juice what BK is referring to is really your electrolytes, right? So even if you weren't fasting, you should be very mindful of your sodium and your potassium and your magnesium, like electrolytes. These are how electrical impulses are sent throughout the whole body. Now we've been told, another myth we've been told is to keep sodium low, right? And most people aren't even aware of where that came from, the messaging. Most food and whatnot, you got to look at who funded the studies and what was the reason. Look at the big food companies and look at pharmaceutical. Right? So obviously they're telling you what they want to tell you. So the juice that you can make on your own is your Celtic or Baja Gold salt, Celtic sea salt, your potassium salt, lower new salt, and baking soda. So I use baking soda, and I take magnesium pills. But then BK took it a step further because what's the downside with that is the people like they just can't get over it. It tastes like ocean water. So BK made undisputed juice. Have you tried that, Jack? Yeah.
No, I want to though. You make me want something new here. This is great.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Stuff's awesome, dude.
I need to get
And
that.
and the thing also with Kyle and I mean, I was on that forever. It's almost like taking a shot of Jack Daniels sometimes. You're just like, but
Salt,
you
yeah.
sip on it throughout the day. But then you get, a lot of people that you got to find that formula that works for you, or you might get sent to the bathroom real quick,
Yeah.
right? So what we did, and through the help of, just studies and then live application, we just formulated a really cool basic formula for the sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium, and we put betaine in it. Betaine is a natural substance that actually like creatine is fueled on, so it automatically increases your creatine levels because we know cells and absorption rate and the hydration. That's what's good for fasting. So we made it 60 servings so you could drink twice a day, as opposed to like one really big one that you're kind of just sipping on, not knowing like how much to put in. That's what we did, and man, it just took off, right, Kyle?
Oh, big time. Big time. I mean, it tastes is supreme. It makes it what stevia and monk fruit extract, right? And he's tested his blood sugar when he's done it. So it's fashion friendly, and it makes you feel like you're getting something of substance, because that's what a lot of people will struggle with is I'm depriving myself. Well, if you have something that tastes pretty good, man, like yeah, I love the plus one that BK made too, because it's got like alpha GPC, a lot of brain stuff in it. Right? I'm all about that stuff, man. But it's that's like it's a foundational thing, I believe, with the fastings. You got to dial in those electrolytes. You got to have them in the system.
And what about chicken broth or any broths? I know I got that from you, Kyle, and I started that even in my community. I
Yeah,
tell the guys that's what they can have, and it makes me feel better. But I never even heard of that until you.
yeah. It's Dr. Fung does that with his patients. He has them do the chicken broth or bone broth throughout the fast, and you could certainly do that. You can break your fast with that, right? Again, look at the micronutrients, like what BK has in the juice, micronutrients. what's in bone broth, micronutrients. And the some people, if they need to feel like they're taking something in, bone broth is a great alternative too, right? It's not going to mess you up as far as weight loss goes or anything. And actually, one of my clients, because he had asked me the same thing, and I said, well, the only question I had was, does it stop the autophagy, the cellular cleansing from going on? And he sent me an article, and the article seems to allude that it does not. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. No, I like it. It's been a little on day 3. Normally, that's when I kind of bring it in. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I've earned this bone broth, and I'll sit down. I'm not even joking. And people, you might think I'm fucking nuts for this, but my family will be eating. During my 72-hour fast, I still cook almost all the meals. I like cooking. I enjoy it. I have no problem not eating it. I'll have my son taste test shit, and I'll sit down with my bone broth, and I'll just put it in my cup, and I'll just slowly sip it, just like I'm eating a dinner.
Yeah,
And it feels the exact same. The results are the same. I sit with my family for dinner. I have my dinner. It's just
that's
different,
great. It is
you know?
great because that's a big concern for people as well. How do I do it with my fence to sign up? Because the meals, like, they overthink it, right? Like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm like, well, first of all, dinner's really, for most people, the only time they're getting together with the family or have time to get together with the family to sit down. And they want your time and attention more than anything. So reframe it and look at it like, hey, I'm getting to have my bone broth, my juice, and I'm getting to sit there and really lock in on that and enjoy that experience.
And you're teaching your family discipline. I think that's a whole nother thing that people are forgetting is I agree with what you said, BK. We're not teaching men to change their diets. We're teaching a totally new mental strength. Like, we're rewriting your mental is really what we're doing. And when you learn that you could do anything. And you slow down eating, you change your relationship with food, you have a connection with your body that when you're saying I feel, it's like you actually when you're fasting, you actually feel. You feel if you're hungry. You feel what food your body's
Oh
needing.
yeah,
You feel proper emotions. It's so weird, right?
it is, man. It
You pull
it, it, it unlocks
yourself
a whole
into a
bunch
new
of
realm.
stuff.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. We'll
I
see
was
what
just
you're
gonna say
saying.
you pull yourself into a new realm. There's a whole nother realm out there of energy, and you're escaping this realm and you go into the next, and that's completely biblical as
Right.
well. Regardless of your faith or your belief, or if you believe the stories, that book is there's wisdom, right? There's a
Yeah.
ton of
Oh,
wisdom in there, and to be able to escape the realm we're in right now to another one where awareness heightens, where you start realizing there's a lot of solutions, you start catapulting your career, your finances, your health, your relationships, and it all. Whenever Kyle and myself do these talks, it's he taught. It was more about self development than anything. It wasn't, hey, don't eat. It was more, man, figure your shit out, bro. Like, there's a lot of things that you got going for you. You just got to accept them. It's like you got to know your dragons, the good ones and the bad ones, because they're not going anywhere. So once you're in harmony with your good and the bad, the yin and the yang, I think that's where you make you just go to this next stratosphere with everything in your life, and it all comes down to that disciplinary action that you were just talking about. At least for myself, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before we roll off, we're coming up on an hour. I tried to always close it within an hour. You just mentioned something there, BK, that I really you're touching on, that energy changes. A euphoric state, right? When I'm fasting, I tell guys, and some guys don't get it, some people seem to get it, but there is. I feel a higher connection. I have a euphoric state about me, like it's just very sublime or whatever. I'm very connected. Congruencies everywhere. I'm just like, dude, there's so much balance and harmony in my life when I'm fasting. That's why I'm addicted to it. I love it. I'm obsessed with fasting. Not on
That's great, dude.
Kyle's level or yours yet, but probably soon.
It
I mean,
is
it's just
it, man. But yeah,
part of the life, man. Just like weight room's a part of your life, fasting is.
Yes.
That's your passion for it is gonna, people are gonna sense that. You can smell it, you can see it, and that's what's drawing people to your channel, and ultimately your ultimate mission is to help them. And if they can experience what you experience, man, that's a whole. Not only are they going to, feel better about themselves, but they're going to explain it to their family, and their kids and their family's friends. And it's like this really cool domino effect of, I guess you could say, just awesomeness, that goes around, as opposed to this cycle of negativity that's so easy to get engulfed upon, always talking about what's going wrong instead of what's going good. It's a completely different realm, and I guess that's why, when we talk about energy being the mecca of life, it's like you're going to different realms of this spiritual world, and you can't deny that. Is there proof? I don't, like, just do it. Live application is fucking proof if you do it enough, right?
Yeah, that's it. And it comes down to, just like we were saying with everything, man, the faith. You got to have faith in it. Faith is, belief in the unseen, man. And, it is powerful, man. Jack, I sent something to BK 2 weeks ago. You know who sent me a DM that's now fasting?
Who?
Eric Trump.
No, that's fucking awesome. Yes.
Isn't that awesome, dude? It's freaking
That is
awesome.
awesome.
Dude. Word is
For real,
spreading,
man.
It's
The
cool,
movement's
man.
going. The movement's going. I don't see another diet like you were saying, Kyle. It's not sustainable. I've tried everything. You and I are 42. We grew up in this fucking era. BK, I don't know how old you are, but we grew up in the era of all the
55.
diets from Lee. Oh shit. You ain't 55. No fucking way, dude.
Nah, I'm 43. I'm 1 year of your elder, man. So.
Oh shit, you're an old man. You're an old man, dude. But we all three of us grew up in the era of Arnold Schwarzenegger, Lee Haney, Ronnie Coleman coming up, and all of them were changing diets, changing what it should be, could be, and we were all just testing out. Creatine was just coming out and shit. I remember when creatine was coming out, and it was like, we've seen it all, and none of it was sustainable for me. Even the keto diet that people are like, I can do keto forever. I can't. I'm sorry. I just can't do keto.
It's because it starts here. It starts here. That's why, because you got to be in tune with yourself and the relationship you have with yourself beyond food. Like, it's not really the food that's the problem, right? It's in between your own two ears. And somebody just asked the question, can you train fasted all the time? I would never ever not train fasted, ever. I don't know if I'm echoing, but that's how I do it, man. I will. We climb the mountain fasted. We do like that. I want to put myself in the most optimal state, not only of mind, but my physical state. If it's in top shape, my body's going to follow. We got to think about it from the inside out. If my cells are strong, do you think my soft tissue is going to be strong too?
Yeah. It's freaking, the proof is in the pudding.
Yep. Well, gentlemen, that's all I have. I think we answered most questions. Guys, if we didn't, please put in the comments. I will post this for everybody. BK, thank you. It's nice meeting you. Kyle, as always, brother.
Yeah,
I appreciate your time.
Thanks for setting this up, man.
Hey, this is the new way. It has to be 3 people. This is couch talking. We're hanging out.
Hey, 3 is the number of spiritual completion.
Hey.
It's meant to be, man. You bring it to people's spirits and let them run with it.
Absolutely.
Kyle,
gentlemen,
see you in Miami, man. I got to roll. Guys, thank you so much.
Have a good day, guys.
Appreciate you looking out for
Later,
me,
guys.
Take care.
Appreciate you.
Peace.
Later, brother.